what is Adderall withdrawal like? This is my Adderall. This is an empty bottle of Adderall. What happens when you run out of Adderall? You go through withdrawals. It was something I never really paid much attention to until my wife actually caught on to what was happening to me. But this is what my Adderall withdrawals were like. What's up, guys? If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Love to have you along for the journey. What's up, guys? My name is Eric, and I went through Adderall withdrawals just recently. There's an Adderall shortage. It comes down to the plastic that they make Adderall XR out of. That shortage has led everybody to getting onto Adderall. Adderall is something I've been on since I was about 18. I have been off of Adderall before, never really went through bad withdrawals, or withdrawals at least that I noticed, until this last time. I am older in life now. I'm 42 years old. I did run out of Adderall, and running out of Adderall, I didn't really realize it at first what was going on. My withdrawal symptoms didn't really run into a lot physically. The only thing physical that I ran into with Adderall was, of course, it's a stimulant, so my body, I'm a little bit tired, more exhausted than normal, and I did have a little bit of body aches. That was the only thing physically that I ran into when it was with Adderall, starting to detox from it, starting to go through withdrawals from it. A lot of mine were mental. I went through mad mental withdrawals. I didn't pick up on any of this because when it's you and you're going through it, you just kind of brush stuff off, especially when you go into like depression. One of the big withdrawal things, I've gotten sober from cocaine, I got sober from alcohol, is you do get depressed. Your brain chemicals are off. You get depressed. Depression is natural. It's this hopelessness feeling, this thing that brought you so much joy in life, so much wonder in life, that was literally killing you, is now out of your life. And it's almost just natural that you go into depression because we don't think of the bad things. We think of how it made us feel good. With Adderall, I wasn't able to get my thoughts fully wrapped around things. My anxiety started to creep in. My anxiety triggered my depression, and I got really depressed. I mean, I got depressed to the point that I was laughing with friends and half serious that, hey, I'm just going to go walk into traffic. I started going down a really dark path mentally. Didn't really realize I was starting to seclude myself from everything. And everyone, even my wife had come up to me and she's like, hey, what's going on with you? What's wrong? And I'm like, nothing's wrong. I just feel a little off, a little bit. And didn't realize that, hey, I haven't taken my Adderall for, about 2 weeks. And there's probably something chemically going on in my brain that I'm not aware of. And I'm probably getting depressed right now that never registered with me. I literally was thinking, okay, I'm just kind of going through a depressive episode. I've been diagnosed with ADHD, PTSD, GAD, and MDD. Major depressive disorder, I do hit highs and lows. ADHD, I know that without my Adderall, it's a little bit harder for me to focus. Didn't realize that, man, once that anxiety kind of crept in, a lot of worry, a lot of insecurities, those insecurities almost crept in over not having control over my life because I can't think straight. I can't focus on one task. I can't almost complete a task. So it made me anxious, a lot of anxiety creeping in. Once that anxiety crept in, tons of insecurities crept in. I'm doubting my relationship. I'm doubting my marriage. I'm doubting all of this stuff. Don't know why I'm doubting it. Where is this coming from? I mean, only thing that's not in my life right now is Adderall. Like, how is this happening to me? Once those insecurities really crept in, started getting depressed, started getting sad, started feeling hopeless, started to feel like I wasn't enough, that this wasn't going to get any better. That was one of the worst withdrawal symptoms that I had, was this mental side of just going down and spiraling down into this deep depression and not understanding really where this depression's coming from. To the point that I couldn't even explain where this depression was coming from. I just knew something was off and it's not really right. And it just kind of progressively got worse every day. And it goes to show you that, you know, some of these drugs, just like with Adderall, I'm very pro Adderall, but any medication out there does affect your brain. It does affect you. And so stopping this medication, especially rapidly like I did, I ran out and it was difficult for me to get my prescription filled, made it where, man, it just, you feel fine for 1 or 2 days, and then all of a sudden it's this slow progression. And because it's slow and it's not immediate, you don't pick up on what's happening. I never told my wife at the time that I had ran out of Adderall. So it comes in these waves, and I'm feeling just progressively getting worse, more secluded. It was damaging my relationship, and I didn't even really realize that it was. I could feel that our communication was off, but I'm not really looking in and going, oh, okay, it's me. This is how my brain's acting right now. My appetite had went up. I was hungrier than what I had been. Adderall does suppress your appetite. It is one of the side effects to it. So when the Adderall is really out of my system, I do eat more. You become hungry a lot more. I noticed that couldn't get my days scheduled out or planned whatsoever. And that drove me bonkers. I didn't know why I couldn't get some of the basic necessities done. I started procrastinating a ton, secluding myself a lot. I would get lost in my phone because I didn't really want to interact with anything or anyone. It made it a lot more difficult. And finally, my wife was like, what is going on with you? And we've talked about medication before and my meds. And she was like, have you taken your Adderall recently? And I was like, well, actually, I haven't taken it for a little while. I got to get my prescription filled. And by that time, it'd been almost like 3 weeks since I was off my Adderall. And I was going through full-blown withdrawals. I started like even looking it up, ended up reaching out to my doctor, got my prescription filled, and going, yeah, you're going through withdrawals. Pause is part of withdrawal that is very mental in a lot of cases. It can also be very physical. My withdrawals that I always face have been very mental withdrawals. I've never had very strong physical withdrawals. The only thing I ever withdrew from that gave me really strong physical withdrawals was alcohol and was kratom. Those were the only two drugs out there that gave me very strong withdrawal physical symptoms. Adderall was very, very mental. I never had hot and cold flashes. I never had restless legs. I had a little bit of the body aches and I was exhausted some. And your brain kind of tells you that this isn't withdrawal signs. Your brain's just telling you, hey, you're getting older. You're just tired. You need more sleep. Your brain never will kick over and go, hey, you're going through depression. You're going through withdrawals. Here's what's happening with your body, unfortunately. That's why it's very important to check in, especially with your doctors. If you're on medication and you do run out, get your meds filled right away. One of my guilty things is that when my meds run out, I'm not always the best at refilling it. ADHD, you know how we are. We procrastinate. We push it off. We push it away. We'll do it tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow. We become masters of that, especially when you have no Adderall into your system. You have no focus into your system. It becomes a continual procrastination almost. Well, that procrastination can lead you down this path of going through withdrawals. Withdrawals with Adderall are real. There are a lot of different withdrawal symptoms that you can go through. With me, again, I mean, majority of mine were mental. And so, you know, I always picked up on withdrawals being, you know, the shakes, the body aches, the restless legs, the inability to sleep. And mine was very reverse. I didn't have any restless legs. I didn't have any hot and cold flashes. I wanted to sleep, but I just thought that was because I was tired and I'm exhausted and I'm working a lot. I knew I was exhausted because I couldn't focus, and not being able to focus alone will really exhaust you. It will really wear you out. But when you do get off of any prescription med, let your doctor know, talk to your doctor, communicate with your doctor. I mean, Adderall withdrawal is not deadly. You're going to go through it. You're going to feel different things when it comes to withdrawal. Everybody's withdrawal is a little bit different. I'd love to hear, you know, if you've went through Adderall withdrawal, what did you experience? I mean, feel free to comment down below, because everyone's withdrawal from these drugs is different. My withdrawal from alcohol that I faced when I was alcoholic is different than the person next to me. Same when it came to cocaine, same when it came to a lot of different things that I've actually detoxed and withdrew off of. Adderall is also the same. So everyone's detox, everyone's withdrawal is different, and everyone's drugs and choices are different. I've always looked at Adderall as a tool. It does have an addictive side to it. When it comes down to, I have to almost remember to take my Adderall. It's not a craving at all. It's almost a chore to take my Adderall. And it's part of my daily checklist of, hey, I got to get stuff done. I got an adult. I got to do this. Did I take my Adderall? So when it comes to that addiction side of it, I would rather not take it than take it. But if I don't take it, I'm not productive. And obviously now I've learned I withdraw from it. So when you do come up to a lot of the medication that's out there, they'll taper you off. And if you're not familiar with tapering is, it's cutting your dose down smaller and smaller and smaller until you're not on the medication any longer. And that really prevents a lot of the side effects that you get from withdrawals. When it comes to benzos and it comes to alcohol, those are some of the most dangerous that you can do, where it's just a cold turkey withdrawal, because those affect your central nervous system. Thankfully with Adderall, it doesn't affect your central nervous system, but it does affect your dopamine levels. It does affect which is your happy chemical. That happy chemical goes away and there aren't those dopamine rushes. So you don't even have those bursts of happiness, and it allows you to get trapped into your thought process of what ADHD really is a thought that is very hard to focus in on one idea, one thought, and you're scattered amongst thousands of thoughts, and it's a never-ending battle to try and pick what thought processes, what activities you're going to follow all the way through with. So taking that away becomes very overwhelming. You're mentally overwhelmed. It sends you into that depression. And depression is dangerous. So if you are struggling out there, I mean, reach out for help. If you are off your medication, get with your therapist, get with your doctor. If you are feeling that you are an addict, I have a link down below to NA. Reach out for help. I mean, I'm an addict. I'm an addict in recovery. My drugs of choice were alcohol and cocaine. It took me a long time to get sober, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of relapses. All in all, in the end, though, it's been worth it. And I live a happier life now, and I live a productive life, and I live a life that I'm proud of. Every day I do wake up with things I want to accomplish in life and not just exist in life and get high. If you are struggling, though, comment down below. I mean, share your experiences. That's what helps everyone, is the more that we share our experiences, we share what we've been through, the more that nobody feels that you're going through it alone. And you sometimes pick up on symptoms that you didn't even realize that you had. And it brings to light that, shoot, I got a problem. I need to get some help. Let everybody in your family know that you're struggling. Let others know that you're struggling, especially when it comes to depression. I lost a wife and a father to suicide. I have a bunch of different diagnoses, and none of that defines you. What defines you is you and that ability to ask for help and to reach out for help. This is my experience when kind of withdrew from Adderall unintentionally. Now that I'm back on Adderall, life has been a lot better. Life is a lot good. Yeah, not going to do that again, but it is something that does make me aware that eventually I do need to get off of this drug and find almost a non-stimulant version to be able to help me with my ADHD, because I am getting older. And let's face it, there's not many withdrawals that I really want to go through anymore. So if you are new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button, comment down below. Love to have you along for the journey.